Imagine coming home after a grueling day, your heart sinking as you overhear your so-called nice neighbor whispering vicious lies about you to the whole block. But what if you turned the tables, caught her in the act of betrayal and theft, and exposed her in a way that left her humiliated and alone? That's exactly what happened in this jaw-dropping revenge story from Reddit. And trust me, the payoff is so satisfying, it'll have you cheering by the end. If you've ever felt the sting of betrayal from someone who smiled to your face while stabbing you in the back, you're in the right place. Hit that like button if you're ready for some sweet, sweet justice. Subscribe for more epic revenge tales that hit right in the feels, and buckle up. This one's going to make you feel seen, validated, and downright triumphant. Alright, folks, let's dive into this story. Our protagonist, we'll call her Sarah for this narration, though names have been changed to protect the innocent, was a 32-year-old single mom living in a quiet suburban neighborhood in the Midwest. Picture it. Rows of cookie-cutter houses with manicured lawns, kids riding bikes down the street, and that classic small-town vibe where everyone knows everyone's business. Sarah had moved there 2 years ago after a messy divorce, hoping for a fresh start. She worked as a nurse at the local hospital, pulling long shifts to provide for her 7-year-old daughter, Lily. Sarah was the kind of person who kept to herself mostly, polite waves to neighbors, maybe a quick chat at the mailbox, but she wasn't one for drama. Or so she thought. Enter Karen. No, not the meme, but this woman fit the bill perfectly. Karen was in her late 40s, a stay-at-home mom with 2 teenagers, and she lived right next door. From the outside, she was the epitome of the helpful neighbor. You know the type, always popping over with a casserole when you moved in, offering to watch your kid in a pinch, or lending a hand with yard work. Sarah remembered the first time they met vividly. It was a rainy afternoon. Sarah was struggling to unload groceries with Lily in tow, her arms full of bags threatening to split. Karen appeared like a guardian angel, umbrella in hand, flashing a warm smile. "Oh, honey, let me help you with that," she cooed, grabbing a few bags and chatting away about how welcoming the neighborhood was. Sarah felt a rush of gratitude, that warmth in her chest, like finally finding a friend in a lonely new place. But as weeks turned into months, little cracks started to appear in Karen's facade. It began subtly. Sarah would notice small things missing from her yard, a garden tool here, a potted plant there. She'd brush it off as forgetfulness or maybe the wind. Then came the whispers. Sarah's internal monologue kicked in during those moments. Why does it feel like people are looking at me funny at the block party? Did I say something wrong? Her stomach would twist, that nagging doubt creeping in like fog. The first real red flag hit when Sarah overheard a conversation at the community pool. She was lounging on a chair, watching Lily splash around, when she caught snippets from a group of moms nearby. "Did you hear about Sarah? Karen said she's struggling with money, like, really bad. Apparently, she's been borrowing from people and not paying back." Sarah's heart pounded in her ears, her cheeks flushing hot. Borrowing? She hadn't borrowed a dime from anyone. But there it was, the seed of doubt planted. She confronted Karen gently later that day, over a cup of coffee Karen had kindly brought over. "Hey, I heard some weird rumors. Any idea where that's coming from?" Karen's eyes widened in mock innocence, her hand fluttering to her chest. "Oh, sweetie, no. I would never. Must be someone else stirring the pot." Sarah wanted to believe her. Needed to, really. After all, Karen had babysat Lily a few times, helped with carpooling. But deep down, a knot formed in Sarah's gut, tight and unrelenting. The betrayals escalated, each one chipping away at Sarah's sense of security. Karen's helpfulness turned into nosiness. She'd show up unannounced, poking around Sarah's house under the pretense of borrowing sugar or checking on Lily. Sarah started noticing more items vanishing, a necklace from her dresser, some cash from her purse left on the counter. Am I going crazy? Sarah thought, pacing her kitchen at night, her mind racing. Or is she? No, that can't be. The emotional toll was brutal. Sarah felt powerless, like she was shrinking under the weight of invisible judgment. At work, she'd zone out during shifts, replaying scenarios in her head, her hands trembling as she administered meds. Betrayal like this, from someone who pretended to care, it burns deep, doesn't it? It's that universal ache of being underestimated, disrespected, like your trust is just a toy for them to twist. One evening, after a particularly rough day, Sarah hit her breaking point. She'd come home to find her mailbox stuffed with anonymous notes, deadbeat moms scrawled in angry letters. Lily had even come home from school crying because kids teased her about mommy being poor and lazy. Sarah's vision blurred with hot tears as she hugged her daughter, her body shaking with rage. How dare she? Sarah whispered to herself in the mirror that night, her fists clenched so tight her nails dug into her palms. The pain was visceral, chest tight, breath shallow, like drowning on dry land. That's when resolve ignited. No more playing nice. No more doubt. Sarah needed proof, and she needed justice. The planning phase was meticulous, fueled by that simmering anger. Sarah researched online late at night, her eyes stinging from the screen glow. She ordered hidden cameras, small, discreet ones disguised as everyday objects, a clock for the living room, a smoke detector for the hallway, even one in the garden shed. She's stealing and spreading lies. I'll catch her, Sarah thought, her determination like steel in her veins. Installation was tense. She did it when Karen was out, heart hammering with every screw turned. Short, sharp breaths escaped her as she tested the feeds on her phone app. Now, the waiting game, it didn't take long. Just a week later, the cameras captured gold. First, the audio of Karen on the phone in Sarah's backyard. Wait, how did she get there? Gossiping loudly to another neighbor. Sarah's such a mess, you know? Divorced and desperate. I saw her flirting with my husband last week, a total homewrecker. Sarah's blood boiled watching the footage, her jaw clenched so hard it ached. But that was just the appetizer. The real feast came when Karen let herself in through the unlocked side door. Sarah had accidentally left it ajar as bait. The camera in the kitchen showed it all. Karen rifled through drawers, pocketing a wad of cash from Sarah's emergency stash, then snatching a pair of earrings from the counter. Her face was smug, lips curled in a sneer as she muttered, "She won't even notice." Pathetic. Sarah replayed the video over and over, a mix of fury and elation surging through her. "Got you," she whispered, a triumphant smile breaking through the tears. But she didn't stop there. She compiled everything, timestamps, clear footage, even enhanced audio. The revenge execution was poetic. Sarah organized a neighborhood barbecue, inviting everyone under the guise of community bonding. As burgers sizzled and kids ran around, Sarah's palms sweated, her mind a whirlwind. What if they don't believe me? What if this backfires? But she pushed through, gathering the adults in the backyard. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said, her voice steady despite the butterflies, "I have something to share." She projected the videos onto a white sheet hung like a screen. Gasps rippled through the crowd as Karen's voice echoed, her actions laid bare. Karen's face drained of color, her mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. That's not me. It's edited," she stammered, but the evidence was ironclad. Neighbors murmured, eyes wide, some shaking their heads in disgust. The climax hit like a thunderclap. As the final clip played, Karen stuffing the earrings into her pocket with a sly glance around. The group erupted. "How could you?" one mom shouted. Karen backed away, her cheeks flaming red, tears streaming as she realized the isolation crashing down. "You all believe her over me?" she wailed, but it was too late. Sarah stood tall, the weight lifting from her shoulders, a rush of validation flooding her like cool water on a burn. Relief washed over her, no more whispers, no more thefts. Triumph pulsed in her veins as Karen stormed off, alone and exposed. It was justice, pure and earned, the kind that makes your soul sing. Stories like this remind us that karma doesn't always need a nudge, but when it does, it's oh so sweet. Betrayal cuts deep, but standing up for yourself? That's the real power. What do you think? Is revenge best served cold or with hidden cameras? If this tale of neighborhood justice fired you up or gave you those satisfying chills, smash that like button right now and drop a comment below. What's the pettiest or most epic revenge you've ever pulled off or seen? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more Reddit revenge stories that hit home. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.